Surya Namaskar is practiced across many yoga traditions. Some people practice it quickly, almost like exercise, others practice it slowly with breath and awareness. This raises a simple question: how fast should Surya Namaskar actually be practiced? In this video, we look at what scientific studies show when Surya Namaskar is practiced at different speeds and how this changes the heart, breathing, and physical demands on the body. When Surya Namaskar is practiced, the body has to coordinate movement, breath, and muscle activity. Changing the pace changes how demanding the practice becomes. A faster pace increases physical demand and breathing rate. A slower pace allows more time for controlled breathing and recovery between movements. This is why scientists expect different physiological effects at different speeds. To explore this more carefully, let's look at one of the earlier scientific studies that directly compare fast and slow Surya Namaskar. This study was published in 2011 by Bhavanani and colleagues in the International Journal of Yoga. The aim was simple: to examine whether practicing Surya Namaskar at different speeds leads to different physiological effects when practiced regularly for over 6 months. Here's how the study was designed. The researchers recruited 42 school students aged 12 to 16. They were randomly divided into two groups. One practiced at a fast pace and the other at a slow pace. Both groups trained under direct supervision for 6 months, and their physiological responses were measured before and after the training period. One important detail is that both groups practiced for the same amount of time, about 30 to 40 minutes per session. The difference was in pace and repetition. The fast group completed about 15 rounds, while the slow group completed about 5 rounds, moving more deliberately. Now, before we look at the results, it helps to know what the researchers measured. They focused on three areas: heart related measures, lung and breathing function, and physical strength assessed using tests like hand grip strength. Let's start with hand grip strength and hand grip endurance. Hand grip strength refers to how much force the muscles can produce, while hand grip endurance refers to how long that force can be maintained. After 6 months of training, both groups improved in hand grip strength and endurance. However, the improvements in hand grip endurance were significantly greater in the fast paced group. This suggests that while both approaches strengthen muscles, practicing at a faster pace places greater demands on muscular endurance. Now, let's look at lung function. Lung function reflects how efficiently we can move air in and out of the lungs. In this study, both the slow and fast groups showed clear improvements in lung function over 6 months, and the improvements were similar, meaning pace did not make a clear difference here. The researchers then looked more closely at the strength of the breathing muscles, specifically those used for breathing in and breathing out. Both groups showed improvements, but the pattern differed. In the slow group, strength increased for both breathing in and breathing out. In the fast group, breathing in strength increased significantly, even more than in the slow group, while changes in the breathing out strength were not statistically significant. This suggests that while both approaches strengthen breathing muscles, the pace of practice shapes which aspects of breathing strength improve more. The researchers also examined blood pressure, including systolic and diastolic pressure. Systolic pressure reflects the pressure in the arteries when the heart contracts, while diastolic pressure reflects the pressure when the heart relaxes between beats. In the slow group, diastolic blood pressure decreased significantly, suggesting a more relaxation related effect on the cardiovascular system. In contrast, the fast group showed a significant increase in systolic blood pressure, reflecting a pattern more consistent with exercise like cardiovascular demand. This shows that slow and fast practice influence the cardiovascular system in different ways. It's also important to note a few limitations. This was a relatively small study conducted in 42 school aged participants, and it focused on short term physiological responses rather than long term health outcomes. So, the study helps us understand how speed changes the body's response, not which approach is best for everyone. So, what this study shows is that Surya Namaskar is not a single uniform practice. At a faster pace, it behaves more like aerobic exercise. At a slower pace, it aligns more with traditional yoga training. Both are beneficial, they simply work through different physiological pathways. More recently, a study published in 2024 looked at this question from a different angle. Instead of long term training effects, it examined the immediate short term response of the body when Surya Namaskar is practiced at different speeds fast, slow, and graded within a single session. The researchers examined 17 yoga practitioners and continuously monitored key physiological responses, including heart rate, oxygen use, energy expenditure, and heart rate variability, which reflects how the autonomic nervous system regulates the heart. This paper is not open access, so what I'm sharing here is based on information from the published abstract. Even when researchers looked at the immediate effects within a single session, a clear pattern emerged, similar to what was seen in the earlier study. Fast Surya Namaskar placed greater metabolic and cardiovascular demands on the body, with higher oxygen use, higher heart rate, and greater energy expenditure, behaving much like physical exercise. Slow Surya Namaskar, in contrast, showed a pattern linked to greater parasympathetic dominance, meaning the heart was regulated in a calmer, more controlled way. So, even in the short term, pace changes not only how much the body works, but also how the nervous system regulates the heart. So, whether we look at changes that develop over months of practice or responses that appear within a single session, a consistent pattern emerges. Science suggests there is no single correct speed for Surya Namaskar. If your goal is physical conditioning and aerobic challenge, a faster pace may be more appropriate. If your goal is nervous system regulation, breath control, and calmness, a slower pace may be more supportive. In my own experience, multiple rounds of faster movement can be energizing at first, but towards the end of a demanding practice, when the body is already tired, pace matters much more, and ending with a few slower rounds feels supportive rather than limiting. That slower pace after faster movement seems to help the body recover instead of feeling depleted. It allows the breath to return and the muscles to soften and feel more at ease. Seeing this reflected in research helped me understand why that shift feels so different. What matters most is not speed alone, but your intention.